Welcome, coaches. I'm so excited today to have Sandi Lindgren here with me, asking me anything about coaching. And Sandi has some amazing questions. Sandi, first of all, though, would you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your coaching niche?
Sure. I am Sandi Lindgren. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I have my LLC is called I Support Youth because when I started coaching in 2003, it was all about coaching kids in high school and college students. And uh, as a full-time social worker, I've always been focused on supporting youth and families. As I age, I've realized that the clients that are coming to me are adults who support youth. And so, yeah, so that's generally in a nutshell who I am.
Okay, great. Well, that is a beautiful mission. Let me say that. I mean, supporting youth and supporting those who do support youth. So,
Hmm.
some questions though about your ideal clients and creating offers and things. Why don't we just start there, Sandi?
Okay, sounds good. What's your question?
Well, what is the question that you're bringing today that you really want clarity on?
So when I looked at kind of the program questions, I really didn't want to just go through the program without doing step by step and thinking about creating a high-end product for my ideal client. I've always had this duality of my ideal client being like the, you know, seniors in high school to college students. Um, and then this other ideal client of working with adults who also work with youth. And so youth workers, social workers, teachers. And as I age, that has started to shift because I don't even advertise right now because I've been working full time. So the people that come to me are youth serving organizations, there's schools, there's other things, but they're usually social service folks who don't get paid a lot of money, who don't work in agencies that don't really have a training budget or professional development budget. So I got stuck thinking about, well, if I were to create a high end program, who would be my market to that's high end enough to give me some money, right? So that's where I got stuck because I was thinking that uh, who I've been focusing on and who I enjoy working with the most, they don't have resources like that. Um, so that's where I got stuck. The other piece of what I've done is I did take my dissertation work and create a book on coaching youth, which also fits with my niche or whatever you want to call it, is coaches who are working with kids. Um, and so that is kind of a guideline book. And so I have had in the back of my mind creating a program using the book as a background for supporting others who maybe they've been coaches for a while or maybe they're just starting out, but their focus is youth and young adults because there is a different way of coaching and different things to pay attention to, especially when coaching minors. You need parental permission. There's so many different things that come into it. So that's another piece. So that's where I got stuck.
You are like so many coaches, Sandi. You're extremely talented. So you could go in many different directions. One thing that occurred to me, because my mind is about marketing and sales. Okay. So you could help all of these people, but where is the niche, if you will, or audience that can really support you financially? Because that's where you want to start, and then you can once you get make money in your business, you can do all the philanthropy you want, but the first step is to really say who can pay me well. And one
Right.
one thing that came to me, and I'm not sure about this, but I'm going to put this out here in terms of brainstorming, is all of these people, these adults that work with youth, they could probably use coaching skills to work with youth. They could probably use the book that you're saying, like, I'm just thinking principals or even social workers since you are a social worker and you have the credentials, what if you could create a program of coaching skills for social workers, like, because they already understand some of the logistics of working with youth, but coaching skills, I think, might give them even more support in terms of doing that. So I just throw that out at you for you.
Well, thank you for that. It's also when I present, I do a lot of presenting at social service conferences, and one of the favorites that people love is coaching skills
Mhm.
to help support your youth work. You know,
Yes.
so it's something I'm already doing. So I think if I create a program, I would have to determine, you know, yeah, it, uh, yeah, this is helpful. And it's also just yesterday, I've been working the last 3 weeks on completing a proposal for a government agency to provide coaching skills program to social workers. Hello.
Doing it already. And see, this could be so cool because when we talk about high ticket offers, even if you had like I'm just putting this brainstorm again, like a 60-hour program through the ICF level 1, and you wouldn't have to start there. You could just start creating the program, but you could have like a 9-month or a year long, because there's a lot to dive into. And
Yeah.
then you could charge higher pricing. So if you had a year-long program, and even if it was like, $500 a month, but it would be $6,000 a year for each person, you could charge $5,000 up front. And even if that was too much, you could look at you could do some market research conversations on what pricing the social workers would be willing to pay. But I think you can make a case for supporting, like, they won't be burned out if they use these coaching skills. They will be able to have more energy. They will be able to be in their career longer. Like, there
Yeah.
are lots of benefits. They'll be able to do their work like so much easier with coaching skills than without.
Mhm.
All know this. And the reason I say don't go for level 1 yet is because that's a huge application, and that's also
Mhm.
money, funding and things. But if you just started the program and got maybe, a half a dozen social workers and said, here's my beta program. Would you be my beta testers? Normally this program is going to be, $6,000 for 9 months, but for you, we'll give it to you for half price. So $3,000 for 9 months, start dividing it out. They should be able to pay something like that. There
Yeah.
could be, like, if social workers are working for I don't know how they do this, for a company or for a organization, the organization might be able to get a grant to
Mhm.
pay for their social workers to get coaching skills.
Mhm. Well, and so just actually, so I was so happy that this was going to be today because I just submitted this proposal yesterday, so I don't have the contract. But what I've done in the last 3 weeks is just dig into research, and it's a nationwide movement for social workers to add coaching skills especially in government agencies, in child welfare. So now I'm like, oh man. So this is like, oh, I can talk to Karen about this today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You could create an offer, and social workers are probably kind of like coaches. They like to be together in groups.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you put them in, like, we are QSI groups, and I hope one day, Sandy, you will come and join one of our groups. But here's the
I
thing:
hope so.
if you put them in a 12-week, and we have a 12-week, but you could even stretch this out over 12 months if they're working full time, right? Because they
Yeah.
need time. But you could structure it very, very much like QSI. You could put in a lot of that. And if you even, because you have the digital program, what is involved in that. But also you could go to the website and look at how we structure our program, what we include. And because those are best practices that we've learned over years. I mean, we've made our mistakes. Now we're kind of like a well-oiled machine. So you could
Yeah.
look at something like that and say, okay, what could I create similar to this? It takes us about 2 to 3 hours a week to deliver the Quick Start program. I mean, once it's all set up, you probably need some help on the back end, you know, in all of this. But I mean, it could be a really nice stream of income for you once you get the whole thing set up and you already have the proposal. So you already have a lot of this done.
Yeah. So if I were to say structure, I mean, I would think, obviously it would be an online live. I would need to record it so that the recordings are available. If people miss it, it can be offered, right?
Mhm.
There should be transcripts.
Well, now with Zoom, you can just click it on and it will give you a transcript automatically. So you can just send it out.
And like a one time a month kind of a meeting. Sorry.
That's okay.
I mean, not once, like once a week, actually, or
Depending on how long. So since
yeah,
it's only 12 weeks, we do once a week. But if you did 12 months, you might do once a month with like you could do a training every month on a coaching skill. And then maybe on the off, every other week. And then on the 2 weeks later, you could do a Q&A about that training. So you train them, they go out and do, try out listening, listening what they're listening for. Try that out, come back in 2 weeks and Q&A. Sandy, here's what happened, or here's where I got stuck, or here's what I did.
mm-hmm,
And the next month you have another coaching skill.
mm-hmm,
You could do a 6-month program if you wanted, but
yeah,
even twice a month. And then we do a Facebook group. So I'm not sure with agencies, you might have to do a different, like maybe circle or use something that's a little bit more kind of secular, but you could do that with them. And they could ask questions in between the
yeah,
the meetings. I think this would be a very easy program for you to deliver because you know
mm-hmm,
this and you know your background. I also think you have a lot of credibility so that you could say, hey, I'm doing this, and they're going to relate to you because you're one of them.
yeah, yeah. So what recommendations do you have for like pricing this?
Okay, so
Let's say it's a 3-month program or 12 week program.
Hmm?
Part of what I was thinking is, what if I do something that is shorter term and weekly, but then after the program is done, then there's monthly follow-up for a year?
For sure. And that would be a nice way to start. And so you'd have to talk to some of these social workers and say, what is the value? Because you want to figure out what the return on investment is for this program. So if you can help them, like not have a hospitalization or not get burned
Mm-hmm,
out, or what would it be worth for you to have an extra hour a day to go to the gym, like
mm-hmm,
start asking these questions. And then ask the one question we ask in market research, which I think is really valuable, is if I were to create, I'm thinking of creating this program. If I were to create this 12-week program, what type of pricing would you
mm,
think that social workers would be willing to pay? Give me a range. On the low end, it's, oh my God, this is such great pricing, I'd start tomorrow. To the
yeah,
high end of, well, it'd be a little, it'd be a stretch, but I could still see the value there. And give me a monthly pricing. So they may say, $20 a month or something, and they may say up to $1,000 a month. Who knows? We don't
yeah.
know. But interview like 10 social workers, and you're going to find a sweet spot of pricing that they're talking about.
You know, I'm okay. I'm so excited because I've already made a list of social workers I can call and ask
Mhm.
for my market research.
Mhm.
I haven't done it yet because I haven't formulated what kind of, so this is perfect timing because now that I have an idea of a program, now I know what questions I can ask.
Mhm. See,
Yay!
you got it. I mean, I'm really excited for you. And I love the Rumi quote, that which you are seeking is also seeking you. I wrote a book called The Clients You Are Seeking Are Also Seeking You. But what I
I've read
really
it.
know
It's
is,
excellent.
oh, thank you. Everything is right in front of us. Like this
Yeah.
idea is right here for you. And this is like, one of my gifts, I will say this, I'll own this, is if I hear 10 ideas, I can tell you the two that will probably make you the most money and you'll be most satisfied with, and things like that. And this actually is a great idea. You could do this for a year. You wouldn't even have to get your program certified. You could certify the coaches through your own program, through your own company, LLC. And then like next year, once you do this and you get all your ducks in a row, then you can start looking at getting it credentialed by ICF. And there's another body called the Center for Credentialing and Education,
Okay.
which
Oh,
gives a board certified coach credential. And you could also get it certified by them.
okay. It's Center for Credentialing and Education.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So, well, I had a thought. Oh, my question was, would you recommend that instead of going through the credentialing program at ICF, that I apply for the CCEs?
You could, but it depends. If you're working with social workers who have not taken coach training yet, you might
Mm-hmm.
apply for social work CCEs for this program.
I can do that because I am an approved provider.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Then once they become coaches, then you can apply for the ICF CCEs. But yeah, for the social workers, and that would give you, I mean, they'd be willing to spend more money if they got CCEs, right? Because they have to.
Yes. 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 I love this idea. This
Yeah.
is yeah, timing is everything. And this is like awesome. Everything is just coming together this week as far as this idea. And the fact that other agencies around the US, other governmental agencies are already creating coaching programs for social workers, child welfare workers, child protection workers, therapists, because it really supports them. Yay!
Right, Sandy, I'm so excited. And thank you for being willing to have this recorded and sent out to other coaches who are thinking about things, because maybe they're going to listen to this and go, oh, that's my idea. It's right in front of me all along. What did I write my last proposal on, or something like that? And I also want to thank you for being here, because I know your father is in hospice and you are there with him, and you've taken some time out to do this, both for yourself and to serve other and support other coaches. So I really, really appreciate that.
I appreciate your time. This is awesome.
All right. Well, have a great rest of your day, and
Yay.
we'll
Thank
stay
you.
in touch. Keep us posted.
Okay. Thank
All right.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.